Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you as always for all the support and love on the videos. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Today we're going to be talking about some Escape from Tarkov Arena. As there's been some interesting developments over the last few days, the main question I've been asking is, can Escape from Tarkov be saved and brought back into any semblance of the spotlight that it, kind of launched with? Let me also clarify, I'm not saying a game needs to be popular in order to be a good game. But I do believe that some things go hand in hand with it being popular and growing the game organically. So, Battlestate Games has released a few days ago a roadmap for Escape from Tarkov Arena over the next few months, with the first patch coming at the end of February. That's what it's slated here, as you see on screen. It's saying end of February at the top of the patch. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that doesn't get delayed or anything. But before I dive into the roadmap, I want to address some of the issues I found crop up from my time playing in Escape from Tarkov Arena. Granted, this is my feedback. This is what I've been doing, okay? And getting from my time playing the game. Maybe everybody else's experience may be a little bit different, so I'm curious what you guys are thinking. So obviously, I want to get your feedback, so make sure you let me know down below. But let's get into it. The biggest starting point that I want to talk about, that's mentioned at the top of the roadmap here, that a lot of players have probably found themselves in similar situations, is the matchmaking. The rebalance that's coming with the February patch is going to be huge. Right now, it just feels like extremely deflating when you're matched up with people who have some seriously better armor than you, and your flesh ammo cannot penetrate them and their armor, and they just absolutely dominate you 9 out of 10 times. For a lot of players, this is a massive turnoff, turning them off the game. So I'm glad to see the matchmaking is a main focus in this February patch, because it feels like a huge necessary feature in the PvP team shooter. Balance is at the utmost priority, not just in weapons, but the matching as well. That's how you keep a player base and how you grow one organically. New players will need to have a right sense of the game and get their bases with it, not going up against a lot sweatier players, which is kind of what happens sometimes when you're playing the base game. You kind of get matched up with everybody, so you'll kind of get dumpstered by some Chad. And unlike this, where you have the ability to match make it and put you against more similar skilled players or similar skill sets or gear sets, which is going to make it, just like I said, organically help the game grow a lot better. People always will play a good FPS game. As long as you cultivate a good experience for them to learn and play in and get, the experience that they're looking for, team shooters, PvP shooters always have a basis to grow. You just got to make sure you deliver the right product. The next one that I want to talk about is how you unlock kits. It just seems way too slow for any average gamer who only has a few hours a week. This argument has been rehashed a lot in the base game of, is the game even fun without playing it like a job? While I have had the ability to spend countless hours on the game, thankfully, someone may not have that same opportunity. I would more likely side that the game is just so much more unenjoyable for them in the main game because they don't have as much time to put in as I do or some other players do. And that honestly turns them off the game so much because it just happens to be once you get into the middle of the wipe or later in the wipe, it just seems like you're going to get dominated. Like you don't have a chance to even go up against some of the other guns and armor you're running into. However, that is why I think Arena can do so much more. The average gamer who only has like an hour or two to hop on and play the game, if you're busy with work or family or whatever it may be, they can get a decent amount of arena games in 1 to 2 hours. And they can work on ranking up. And, that's the main thing a lot of these competitive gamers want to do is rank up and play the game. Getting better at it is super, super rewarding to see. It just feels like an achievement, a self-achievement. But in the same amount of time you might be spending in that, you might get only 2 or 3 raids of frustration in the main game. So that's the kind of turnaround that I think Arena has, is if you're looking for just somebody who's like an average PvP gamer and doesn't want to get frustrated by running some raids and getting absolutely dumpstered, not able to complete any quests, losing money, losing kits, losing guns, losing time, Arena can offer you a different experience that has the Tarkov mechanics, and that's why I think Arena has a place to grow. It just needs to be done right. Locking those kits that you get in the game right now to use in Arena, locking those kits behind XP grinding, some serious XP grinding, is going to just turn away the new players and new and learning players and average players only have, let's say, I'm not even calling them average, just want to say like the average person only has a few hours to play the game every day. So they'll get stuck behind that serious XP wall because they won't be able to dive in 6 to 7 hours, a day into the game. Granted, in that same explanation though, is a turnaround that they'll be matched up with matchmaking against players in that same kit level as them. So even if they can only put 1 or 2 hours into the game, that's okay because they can still be playing against other players. However, for them to advance in the game and get better guns and get better armors and really feel like they're progressing, you can't put such a serious XP wall behind it because it's just going to keep turning away players. So now I want to shift gears and talk about some of the changes they've mentioned in the roadmap that I like or dislike. Also, make sure to give me feedback on Arena and roadmap down below. And if you're enjoying the video, so far, make sure you click that like button, guys. It helps in growing the video out in the algorithm, and I want to make sure it gets out to as many people, so that always goes a super long way. And a sub always helps the channel grow further with all of your guys' support. So thank you for that as always. Okay, back to Arena. So the first thing that popped out to me, outside of the matchmaking, which we spoke about already, is the hitbox and armor system coming to the game. As of right now, the new hitboxes have been getting some tweaks, but I don't really think it's ready to be placed in the competitive shooter version of Escape from Tarkov. I think there are too many issues with it currently, and I want to see them refine it before adding it into the game, that the only thing that matters is PvP. So Hitboxes and Armor system is going to be implemented in the February patch, and we'll have to play and try that out to get some feelers for it, but I am nervous to see this kind of come into the game and kind of ruin some of the fights, but who knows, maybe it actually benefits the game better, because they have been working on it, and I will say it has gotten a little bit better from when the wipe happened back in December, so fingers crossed that it gets implemented good, and we'll have to see, but I am also not going to hold my breath with this, but like I said, we'll be trying it out and getting some feedback on it. They're also going to be adding in the Chop Shop location for the team fight mode, which is going to be a new map for us to try out. And I'm pretty excited for it because the maps in Arena have felt like they flow pretty good so far. So I'm excited to see what they can do with this new map and then later map in the spring and summer patches. Also, with the February patch are some performance optimizations to hopefully help out those struggling with frame drops or latency or other issues. This is a welcome change. You're never going to get a complaint from me if you're improving the game to make it run better on other systems or just better on my system, whatever it might be. Optimizing the game is always a very, very important thing to do. In the later months, more spring to summer time, we can expect to see a couple new things. A new location called Block, a new game mode called Last Hero, Unranked finally coming out, quality of life improvements, the cleanup crew, which I really dislike, by the way. It's going to be getting some improvements to the behavior, so we'll see how that turns out. They're also working on the anti-cheat, and last one, which is the most interesting to me, is the implementation of the overtime system into the team modes. So hopefully less cleanup crews affecting the game and more overtime to determine the fight. So instead of, having the cleanup crew come in and just an RNG fight wherever they push first, will necessarily just, kind of wipe you out because the AI in this game sometimes is just absolute Terminator mode. This is going to be interesting to see, and I'm really excited to see if the overtime system can change the flow of the game. Most of those, if not all of those, are necessary changes to the game to bring it back from the state it is right now, which was DOA. I still think Arena has a chance, and I think a lot of these changes are steps in the right direction. I just hope it isn't too late.